I like it. Did you get it blonder?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Looks
been a
good.
long time. It's been like a year, so it needed to freshen up. But yeah,
Oh, it looks good.
thanks, guys.
Yeah, even I picked up on it, so I am observant enough, right?
Sure you did.
As in last week, I did. Yeah. How are you, Anthony?
Oh,
Oh no, Anthony, I can't hear you. Let's go for Andy.
Very busy weekend. I had a couple of birthdays. So
Dad's birthday. You're a good son.
yeah, no, I had Dad's birthday and I had a couple of friends' birthdays on Sunday, also yesterday as well. So um, yep,
Very good.
for the weekend.
And what about in Queensland? We haven't heard from Queensland, Adrian. What's happening up in those sunny parts of the world?
Very hot.
Yeah, super hot.
Really humid.
Was it?
Like
I think
35. Upwards
Wow.
of 35.
And like 80% humidity.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So
from a weather, Anthony will tell you, from a weather perspective, I don't know what's better then, because Melbourne's weather was pretty lousy on the weekend. I think it's fair to say. It was very windy.
Yeah, terrible.
it's drizzling right now, it looks like.
How was the hay
Yeah, it's been
fever,
spinning.
Anthony, with you?
It actually wasn't bad. I think because it was really cold. Oh, it was cold here anyway. But yeah, I wasn't outside too much.
Alrighty, Adrian, 10:31. Let's get cracking.
Okay.
Good to see everybody. Thanks for jumping on. Here we go here. I think Jake's going to look after it. Can you read that okay, Jake? Is that big enough for you?
yep. So we acknowledge that we are on the traditional lands of the Kulin Nation. We offer our respects to the owners of these traditional lands and through them to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, past and present.
Awesome. And so we know the agenda for today, guys. You guys don't have to jump on at 10:15. Me and Adrian will be there at that time. We're on it from 10, but yeah, try and jump on at least 5 minutes or so beforehand would be awesome. That would be great, just so we can kind of say hello to everybody. We like to do that, and we like to care for one another. It's nice. Ben's always an early riser. He's the one that's up earliest, right, Ben? What time is it there? 7:30. Sheepers. Good man. What do you got? You might want to do this one too, Jake, if you want to do the mission purpose, and maybe you can pick your favourite.
All right, so our mission is to protect, build, and grow businesses using social media marketing. Our purpose is to gain competitive advantages for businesses using social media marketing tactics to attract and retain more customers. And obviously, my favorite one is have fun and do good, because it's important to not only make sure that your work is helping people, but also that you're also having fun doing it.
This one. And maybe just have a little bit of an overview of this one too.
Yep, so our long and short tails are to protect and build equity in small businesses, differentiate their brand and their business, be top of mind in their target communities, to increase opportunities and explore their interest and inquire.
Awesome. Just on that long and short tail, I'm often reminded, sometimes people, just so you know, sometimes small businesses feel like, oh, they haven't been on social media for years and they feel like they've missed the boat, right? So with the long tail, there's an element of truth in that, right? The longer you're on, the more advantageous it is, right? Because the more proofing, the more posting, the more relationships are built. But the advantage is that people often haven't taken advantage of the short tail of social media, which is Facebook advertising. And so it's easier to build certain things using the ad side of things. So it's never too late. And also we know that, not that many businesses are on, and the amount of businesses that are on using it in a particular way isn't that many. So this one you probably don't need to talk to, but we are highlighting the fact, Jake, that that all of our products are listed here with all of our pricing, and that's pretty rare, right? So not too many. It means that others can also look at that, right? But we know and we're confident that our pricing is, as many of you have been using in your presentations at your BNIs, is we're very affordable. There's a reason for being affordable, but we're also very very visible and very open in all of our communications, which I'm pretty sure that if you guys, I don't know, for the ones that have joined BNIs recently, did you have to put your hand on your heart and say that I will do this, this, and this as a BNI member? And one of the things they say is that I will deliver my services at the pricing that we state. Right? You gave the thumbs up, Ben. Do you remember having to state that?
Yeah.
Yep. So that's something that often happens at the start of when you first join and when you're a successful applicant, you get asked to do that, right? But yeah, so for us, we can say not only do we do that, all of our pricing is on the website, right? So, and Jake, do you want to have a 90 seconds go at this one too?
Yep. Sorry, give me 1 second. Something's playing in the background. All right. So this is our Dify Social strategic model. As you can see, we sit in the marketing side of the house, in between communication. Sorry, my computer's the batteries. Wait, sorry, give me 1 second. Oh no.
I'll finish off. How's that sound? It sounds like battery died. That does remind me of the time that I was due to give a presentation for B1G1. Exactly the same thing happened. Well, in fact, I lost connection. Yeah, I think what Jake was going to tell us is that social media marketing sits up the top in the communication side of things. I was speaking to Adrian earlier today. Is that if you haven't watched the Action Coach presentation that he gave on BNI Builders or YouTube. Now, some of you can't watch that. I understand that. So if you're not already part of a chapter, but what it really said to me, Brad Sugars, if you haven't seen it, you can connect with Brad Sugars. He basically started Action Coach. I connected with him last week, right after I listened to him. He's now in Las Vegas, but he started his life out in Brisbane, right? And he started Action Coach. Action Coach is to business coaching what Dify Social is to social media marketing, right? And his presentation really reminded me of what we often say: what marketers call marketing, business calls business, right? And then when he talked about now is the time to really up and change your marketing, what he was meaning is now is the time to up and change your marketing communications, right? So have a listen to that. It's really worth why it's worth you guys listening to that is because you want to be inside of the head of our prospect, right? You want to understand what it means to be a good business owner and to run a good business, right? So somebody like Brad Sugars sharing gives you that understanding of what do good businesses need to know, what do good businesses need to be thinking about. Now that was on the back of what do they really need to be thinking about now that we've gone through a recession, right? So yeah, have a listen to that, because realistically what Brad Sugars talks to businesses about businesses is he lines up perfectly with the way that we talk to them about marketing communications. And we are a real extension of what a business coach is basically teaching and sharing and consulting and counseling their clients often. You're back, Jake. It's okay. We got you covered.
Do you want me to finish it, or you're right?
I reckon we'll probably be okay, unless you want to. You can go from the middle section if you like.
Yeah. So yeah, we did. So obviously, in the middle, we're able to use a repurposing model from a customer's website to their social media, with Google and Facebook being our main focus of the 6 displayed. As you can see with the Google My Business, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And as you can see, there's an incredible opportunity for small businesses. And according to the most recent social media report, less than 50% have ever used social media. And of that 50%, less than 13% have actually used any type of social media strategy. And then obviously using the data that we get, we make sure we appropriately and realistically measure a return of investment through customers obviously retained and acquired through our Dify social model.
Awesome. Nice ending. That was a good full stop. One of the things we are going to really focus on today, because it's reporting month for both extra small and small clients. So one of the sort of themes and what I'm really realizing with this month and with the reporting is that there's a lot of times where we need to start using the language almost all the way through, in terms of when we're doing audit and consults, and then when we're reporting as we go along or doing the setup and planning sessions, is there are times where we need to get our clients, where we almost need to be saying, look, you need to help us help you, right? In terms of there's certain things where realistically we are their coach, right? We're their consultant, but we're also telling them what they can do to help us help them, and in fact help themselves. Does that make sense? Thumbs up, reaction. Yeah, does it make sense? There's certain things that they can do to help themselves, which just adds a layer onto what we're doing. So that's kind of what I want you to, when we're going through, I'm going to talk through, just use some report examples today. But I want you, because I just know for me, and I'm thinking Adrian will concur here, we've had our one-to-one already this morning. So when you start to really understand what the reporting is saying, you really start to get a lot of confidence, right? Because you get confidence in a few ways, right? Your confidence comes in, okay, this model, I understand what we're doing, right? I understand how all the channels play a role in our model, right? That's the first thing. But the second thing is, yes, you can see that the ones that are actually going, hey, I think I saw one with Emily where she sort of talked about, and we might look at it, but with the jeweler, she literally said, hey, these are great results, right? And that's true. We need to be able to say to people, hey, this isn't what everybody's getting, right? This is a great result you're getting here. Similarly, we need to be confident in saying, if someone comes back and says, well, I don't feel like I'm getting the sales I was after, can you turn ads off, right? So, for instance, Anthony and I have got it with Hunter Professional, right? And there's others. And we can go, yeah, we'll turn them off, right? But you need to understand that by turning them off, what you're going to lose by doing that, right? You're going to lose thousands of people seeing your posts. You're going to lose potentially hundreds of engagement, right? And you're going to also potentially lose a whole stack of flares, right? In terms of people visiting the website, all that sort of stuff. Oh yeah, it's not buying anyway. Well, okay. But does that mean it's social media's fault, or does that mean you maybe need to look at or have a chat to someone in business around what you could be doing differently? Because I don't use it as an easy opt-out, right? The fact, if social media marketing is not working, it's usually because something in the business isn't working. Does that make sense? Thumbs up. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's very rare that it's social media marketing or Facebook advertising's fault. And I believe that, right? So I believe that wholeheartedly. Is if things aren't happening, Haley and I have it a little bit as well, right? So we're trying all sorts of things, because sometimes I'll scratch my head and I go, well, this doesn't make sense, right? But we just need to be honest and be able to look at our reporting and be going, look, it doesn't quite make sense to us because we're seeing good insights, all things are happening. If it's not selling or it's not doing what you'd hoped it would do, it may be that you need to do something else. Yeah. Anyway, that's probably laboured that point enough. But yeah, today's all about reporting. Did anybody in their education pick? I've already mentioned this one. In fact, I didn't put up an updated one. That was the previous week. What we might have to do is so that Anthony and Andy and others can hear some of these ones where we can't find them on YouTube, is that or maybe they may be available on YouTube. But I would ask that, listen out for them in your own chapter. If your own chapter meeting education person raises something, or just in your own CEUs when you're doing them, if you find something, then let me know and just say, look, I think this would be worth sharing with everybody, right? Around remembering that it's often around being a better business person. Think of it as simple as that. How can I be a better consultant? How can I help the people I work with be better business people, right? Realistically, that's the thinking around that sort of stuff. Anthony and I, we're going to smash out fresh networking this week, Anthony, yeah?
Yeah, 3.
We've got the next 3 mornings we're going to fresh networking. I'll do at least 2, I reckon.
Yeah.
And then Jake, got trumped at United by somebody that we don't really know. But so I think we've got some steps, Jake. Remind me, right? I think we sort of put down some steps in terms of what if.
Yep. So I'll go. There's 2 BNIs I'm going to this week, and Tamara, who you've met, who's another social media marketer in Adelaide, and she's also a vice president on a few chapters, and she's their company's quite big in BNI, and she's going to help me find the perfect chapter for me.
Yeah,
so.
And the reality with Tamara and Simone is they're actually digital marketers, and they just happen to hold the social media strategy seat. So the reality is if they want us in one of their chapters, then we probably can go in. We just become the management, hold the social media marketing management seat, basically. Anyway, so yeah, that's something that we hope will happen. I guess the highlight for me from a BNI perspective last week was going and having a listen to Hannah. Great job, Hannah. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Did you find that it helped finally getting... Hannah got to do another online presentation, but I said to her, if it was 9 out of 10 when we heard her present to us, it was 10 out of 10 at her BNI, I thought. So it was awesome.
Thank you.
Well done. And her dad was there, Sean. And at the end in the breakout room, he said to the real estate guy, do you think you might be able to find me a townhouse in Brisbane? The real estate guy's eyes just lit up, I think, right?
Yeah, I took that referral.
Exactly. What does your dad do at the uni up in...
He's general counsel, so sort of like, the legal counsel for JCU.
Yeah. It was great having it and hearing him share. So it was almost like she had a double team of me and her dad saying, with his marketing background, that he might be able to give Hannah some insights into some also connections and stuff too. So yeah, think about. I thought that was a very good strategy to invite Dad along. Well done.
Yeah, well, I listened to it in a podcast that I presented for Network Education, and she said just bring like anyone that you wouldn't even think of because you don't know who they might know to bring business or for the chapter.
Yeah. Well, as I said, it seemed to me that you were very, very much a leading member of your chapter, and you've only been part of it for just on a month, so it was pretty awesome. Aside from Hannah's wins, I guess we'll probably talk about it as we go along. But hey, what an awesome week we are having or about to have, or next couple of weeks, right? So rather than me highlight the fact that we've got, I had a setup on Saturday and planning session. We've got ones Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and most likely being booked in for the digital one next week as well with the signage, Lim Life. So things are happening, right? And so again, I was chatting with Adrian. Now is the time that everybody's winding down, right? But some business are going, shit, I need to get myself in order for 2021, right? Now some businesses are thinking like that already, right? And they're certainly going to think of that like that at the start of 2021, right? So yes, people are fatigued, right? But what I would recommend highly, and I'm going to be doing this myself, is when you're in your BNI meetings, if you are currently looking at or you are looking to look at it early next year, please speak to me if you're interested around social media marketing and getting your act together, your house together in 2021. Now is the time to be speaking about that. Does that make sense? I get a thumbs up. Yeah. If you're looking at getting your act together in 2021, talk to me now. We're already getting busy, right? This week, it would be tough to take on too many more bookings, right? But again, in terms of what Adrian and I were talking about, yeah, we're going to take a break, right? But that week before we come back, I'm certainly going to make myself available for billable work, right? So if people want to book me for an audit and consult, if people want to book me for a setup and planning session, I'm available, right? And I'm actually in 2021, I'm available Saturdays, right? Just so you know. I figure I've got a flexible week anyway, and I can tell you that it's much better to work on a Saturday when we're saying what time we want to work than it is to work on a Saturday like I normally do at the MCG, where I have to drive there and they're telling me what time I have to work. I know for you guys, we're kind of telling each other what time we're going to work, but I could tell you that realistically, to go and do a setup as it was on Saturday, which went from 10:30 to 4, that's okay. I've still got my Saturday night. Realistically, I'm happy with that. So that's something for you guys to think about. In 2021, I'm certainly offering that we'll do Saturday setup for those busy businesses that literally can't take out 5 hours in a working week because they've got too much going on, right? Because I think there'd be a number of business people that would be in that boat. Would you agree? Yeah?
I think so, yeah.
Cool. All right. So we haven't got any special guests, but the other thing I do want you to kind of think about, and sorry for my laziness, but this is just so you know, I've got this on my high rise. I kind of, whenever I think of somebody, I make a note and sort of think, well, I'm going to invite them along next year or next year to come and have a chat with us, right? Phil clearly has been. David Jennings, I don't know if I talked to you about that. If you're not already connected to David James, he's the guy that does System Hub. He's all about systems. So in actual fact, it's worth knowing David James, right? I don't know if that's how you say his name. I think it is. Bernadette Swart. Andy, you would have seen her name. She's just ghostwritten a book, but she also has an incredible academy, right, for copywriters, right? So Bernadette Swart, I'd hope to get her along. Jules Brook is basically has the handle your own PR software, right, that we use as a business and that Ria was helping me with to put out to media contacts, right? She's based here in Melbourne's West. I've asked Nadine before. Kerry is an exit strategist, right? So, you know, when we're talking to businesses and business people 5 years older than me and those ones that are looking at getting out of their business, I want to get Kerry here at some stage so that Kerry can come and have a chat to us. Kerry Bolton is her surname, Boulton. Kerry Bolton. So she could just have a chat. And again, it's just so that we can be thinking like business people, right? It helps us. If we think like our clients, it just helps us because if we understand that clients want to get out at times, right? And how can we help them get out and have a more valuable business when they do get out? Steve Samatino is a futurist, as is this. There's a guy, Useful Benefits. He talks about useful benefits. Not useful benefits. It's useful beliefs, right? And he gave a talk to, he went in and met with the Mortgage Choice team, Andy. And he's a great guy. I'm trying and get him to come and have a chat with us as well. He talks about useful belief. You know, I believe 2021 is going to be the best time to ever be alive, right? I believe it's going to be the best time to ever consider social media and social media communications. I believe that Facebook advertising is the way that everybody should be going. They're all useful beliefs, right? Do I believe it? Yes. It's useful for me to believe it because, anyway, as you could tell, he had an effect on me when I heard him speak. So, but we'll try and get these people along. Matthew Galea, again, is a local copywriter. And I think many of us don't have copywriters in our BNI chapters. Is that right? Does anybody have a copywriter in their chapter? Don't think any of us do, right? So again, Matthew is someone I thought might be good to have come along. Anyway, let's go through this week. Your number one song on Apple Music or Spotify. Highest rotation. This might help Emily for a next round of TikToks. If we want to put it to, it may or may not be one you would want to use as your TikTok. But anyway, just your number one song on Apple Music or Spotify. If you're doing that, if you don't do that, then give us something else. If you're listening to Talkback Radio, so be it. All right, so my name's Steve Hubbard. I am your marketing graduate from Monash University, and I am your Diffy social media marketer here in Footscray, Melbourne, where I've lived, worked, and played for over a decade now. And my number one song on Apple Music, for want of choosing one, is called Champagne by Angus One. And I always feel shit in the morning, but I always feel good in the night. My wins for the week, clearly it was a fantastic week this week. So thanks to you guys for bringing on. We've got the Removalist tomorrow. We've got Haley's got a great new client coming on, and we've got another one on Thursday, but I'm going to maybe limb life as well. But yeah, so really good week last week, really positive. This week, I mentioned to my BNI that I wanted to be introduced to past or present action coaches. Now, action coach is the equivalent to business coaching as we are to social media marketing. Incredible benefits if we can be linked and know of action coach, but of business coaches, right? They speak exactly the same language as what we do generally. So, Steve Hubbard from Dify Social. Over to you, Adrian.
I am a marketing graduate from VU, and I'm your Dify social media marketer here in Maidstone, where I've lived, worked, and played for 7 years now. My number one song, I'm not too sure what it is because I need to update my gym playlist, so I'm open for recommendations. I'll be listening to everyone's song choices. My win for the week would be meeting my BNR Yarra team. We had a nice lunch, so I got to meet everyone face to face yesterday. So that was a good weekend for me as well. And I was talking to Steve. We were talking about the opportunities with business coaches. So this week I am looking to connect with business coaches. And next up would be Andy.
Good morning, all. I'm your marketing graduate from RMIT University, and I'm your Diffie social media marketer here in Sunshine North, Brimbank Council, where I've lived, worked, and played my whole life. Number one song on Spotify would probably be Drew Barrymore by Bryce Vine. I've been listening to him for quite a while now. My wins for the week is probably doing reporting for all my clients. That was fun. I'd really love to work with and for accountants this week, so please connect me. Up next is Anthony.
Good morning, everyone. I'm a marketing graduate from La Trobe University, and I'm a Diffy social media marketer here in Epping, where I've lived, worked, and played for the last 5 years now, coming up. I'm originally from the country, and my number one song is anything from Tool, but probably right into, that's the name. But yeah, any Tool song, Adrian, just look it up, go for it. Might be a little bit heavy, or anyway. My wins for the week is definitely meeting all the Melbourne crew for breakfast, and getting my first visit to Fresh Networking, which was pretty good, and I'm looking forward to this week as well. I'd really like to work with and for businesses in the sporting industry, maybe like a tennis club type, one of those big ones like Hume or something like that. So I'm looking to connect with those. Up next is Hayley.
Morning, everyone. My name's Hayley. I'm your marketing graduate from Monash Uni. I'm your Diffy social media marketer here in Malvern, Victoria. My number one played song on Spotify was Feeling Whitney by Post Malone, but 100% I know it's Harry Styles' Girl Crush, but I listen to all my embarrassing music on Apple Music so no one can see me listening to it. My wins for the week was meeting all the Melbourne crew. It's good to see you all. And also signing up Allerton Wealth as a client. So doing a setup and planning this Friday. I'd really like to work with and for businesses in the professional industry. But this week I'd actually like to connect with photographers to bring along to BNI because I think they would really thrive in our chapter. Up next is Emily.
Hey everyone, good morning. My name's Emily. I'm your marketing graduate from Rutgers University, and I'm currently studying at Griffith. I am your marketer here in South Brisbane, Holland Park, where I've been since January. My number one song, or actually I would say my number one artist has been Lizzo this year. I've just been really into her. And that's what I've been listening to. And my wins I don't really have any wins from last week, but I do have my presentation tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. And my BNI is looking for realtors. So if anyone knows any realtors, let me know. Thanks.
Can you just tell me the name of your song or band again?
Lizzo,
How do you spell that?
Lizzo.
I've never heard of that. But anyway, I'm going to look it up.
You'll love it, Steve.
She's so famous.
Right. Yeah, she's super famous.
Maybe
Yeah, I love
I
it.
don't
She
know it.
trained with Prince. Prince was her mentor.
Very good.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hannah and I'm your marketing graduate from QUT, and I'm your Dify social media marketer here in Brisbane, Queensland, where I've lived, worked and played for 8 years. However, I'm originally from Melbourne. My number one song on Spotify Wrapped was Roses, and my wins for the week was definitely my BNI presentation. And this week I would like to work with and for businesses in the events industry, especially those that are planning Christmas parties, and need someone to run their social media. Hannah from Dify Social. And next up is Jake.
Morning, everyone. My name is Jake, and I'm your marketing graduate from the University of South Australia, and I'm your Dify social media marketer here in Adelaide, where I have lived, worked, and played for the last 8 years. My number one song on Spotify Wrapped was Instant Coffee by Bugs, who are a Brisbane band. My wins for the week was doing a one-to-one with someone outside of BNI, which was pretty cool. And this week, and in that meeting, they mentioned working with a small dentistry in my local area. So I think I would like to continue to connect with like small medical businesses. So yeah, I think again, I'm looking to connect with local dentists who have their own business outside franchises in Adelaide. And up next is Ben.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Christ. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ben. I am your marketing, advertising, and PR graduate from ECU, and I'm your Dify social media marketer here in Wanneroo, Perth, where I've lived for the past 14 years. My number one song on Spotify was Still Waiting by Sum 41. And wins for the week, I didn't really have too many. We had the Arbonne guy bail, but he's rescheduled for tomorrow, so that's not too bad. So we might be potentially having our second client come on board. And this week I'm looking to connect with business coaches, because I would really like to invite one to my chapter, because the website person at my chapter said that she got a lot of business from business coaches. So I figured we would also get business from business coaches.
Awesome. I'm just going to put this lady's name in because I'm reminded I was mentioning to someone, Ben, about the fact that we had the Arbonne consultant that you were going to talk to, Netta Dow. So I've just put her name in. Do you remember we introduced you guys to Netta Dow at one stage? So she's made an absolute stunning career as an Arbonne consultant and connected that all through BNI. So for a start, make sure that Carlton is aware of Netta. And also, if you're not already, you should connect with Netta as well, right? So clearly she's someone that that Carlton can look at how has she succeeded, using both perhaps, the BNI, but also marketing other outside of what Arbonne do themselves, perhaps. Cool. Your turn, Adrian.
Okay, let's go. Anthony, what was Hannah's favorite song?
I was like, please don't ask Hannah, because I was just like, I swear I haven't heard of anyone besides Ben and Lizzo. Like Sum 41, that's one of my favorites too.
I'll give you a hint. People say you should smell the
Roses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
I haven't heard of them either, so don't worry. Okay, let's go with Andy, who is let's go. What was Jake's win for the week?
Oh, one-to-one outside BNI.
Yeah, the face-to-face.
Yes.
And Emily, who is Ben looking to connect with?
Business coaches. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Okay, now Emily, if you want to give us some, stretch.
Yeah, okay. We'll cycle back to that one that Steve really liked, which was when you put your arms up above your head and you move like in circles one way 5 times, and then you move the other way. Cool.
It's not done enough in BNI. I reckon the stretch. I like the stretch. The other thing is, do you guys say that you're where you're from in terms of your university when you speak at BNI?
No.
Because you should,
No.
right? It's your one point of difference. It's actually that higher credibility that you have that most of the others don't have, right? Is that you're a marketing graduate. So I've noticed that you don't, right? So the only reason I don't is because I kind of say that I'm a certified practicing master of marketing, right? At times. So remember, it's a huge point of difference for you guys. And I'm impressed. And if I'm impressed, BNI members are going to be impressed, right? So please maybe add that in, particularly, particularly if you've got a 60 seconds, there's plenty of time and space for you guys to use that up, right? So, and I had to, and the other thing is, and Hannah did it, right? But I'm aware that a lot of BNI members don't do it when it's their day to present, right? Is they'll also say, oh, you're going to hear plenty of me later, so I'm not going to tell you anything about me now. That's a rookie mistake, right? You've got 60 seconds or 45 seconds or 30 seconds, and you get it once a week for whatever it is, 45 weeks. Use it every time, right? So always use the fullness of it. And if the person before you gives you an extra 10 seconds, then use that as well, right? You've got a period of time to be able to talk about, as succinctly as you can. So what I would just recommend that you do is, your youthfulness, you've got to kind of work to the strength. That part of that strength is you're a recent graduate from the university that you're from, right? So really use that. You're a recent graduate. Haley, you're going to be singing that song for the next long time, right? And you'd be going woohoo, because guaranteed it won't just be like we did it, right? We celebrate that. Your chapter will do it as well, right? You just say, hey, I'm pumped. I'm now a graduate of da-da-da-da, right? So yeah, it does add muscles onto your sort of your persona with amongst the group, your credibility, if you like, right? That's why. Yeah, that makes sense. Sweet. As I said, this week, what I wanted to do, go back to sharing screen, is just talk about, here we go, Adrian, is talk about reports, right? Now, you guys are all getting emails coming through okay, correct? In terms of, so the report I wanted to start with is ours, right? I think about a month or so ago, we spoke a little bit around this when Andy asked a question, around what about business to business, right? So the first thing is to recognize we are a business. And the other thing to recognize is, you've heard me say it many times, is that we treat ourselves as our number one client. The reason we do that is because I then start to think, well, shit, I should start doing this for the clients, or I need to start tweaking that for the client, right? So often the reason I start thinking is because I'm looking at my own insights for Diffy Social, right? And then I'm going, well, okay, what could we be doing? And it is that, as I said before, how can we tell our clients how you can help us help you? And in fact, help yourself, in other words, right? So what I wanted to sort of point out to you is, I can clearly see that's an old report, right? Because you could see an old insight. So we're way up now, right, around our numbers. So clearly, straight away, the thing that we're putting up, where do we invest the most time and money in? We invest it in Facebook. That's why it's in this order, right? So, and remember, the way I've got this is I've simply gone to last month's report. I've copied from the very bottom, right? i.e., I've gone like this, right? I've copied everything from the very bottom to there I've copied it. I come down here. I paste it into a new thread, right? In this case, most of the time you guys are putting it into a private thread, right? And then I'm updating the numbers. It's a bit like doing the proposals. Make sure you get the numbers right. It's okay because I'm proofing it and you'll get better over time. But these are the numbers that really matter, right? Has any of you guys ever seen a report from an SEO or an analytics report? Have any of you guys in the businesses you've been involved with ever seen a report along those lines?
No.
I have, right? Digital agencies will send you a 30-page report. And at the front, they'll say, "Hi, Adrian, Andy, Haley, Anthony, Hannah, and Emily, Ben, and Jake. Please find your report for November attached." That's it, right? They don't give me anything else other than that. At best, they might give me a screenshot as an overview. They don't, and often those businesses, you're really paying for them, particularly if it's a Google business, you're paying for them to be able to tell you that stuff's working, right? But here's the reality, and here's again our point of difference, right? We are tradesmen-like marketers. We need to keep it simple. We need to be able to explain to all of our clients, what does it mean? What's working, what's not working? Remember, gaps, opportunities. That's what we talk about when we bring them on, and it's what we continue to talk about as we move along, right? So it doesn't stop. But anyway, there's the order. It's all templated, but it's just about getting those numbers and knowing what that means. So great. We've stayed pretty steady. We've actually increased. Followers is normally the numbers, by the way. You have to go and look at followers separate to the overview, and look at followers. Followers gives the people is the likes plus. So sometimes people will go just like the page. Sometimes they'll follow. But if you go followers, you're getting likes and the others, right? The others that don't want to show up as a like. The reach is steady for us, 50,000, more than 50,000. You'll see that it's only 167 visiting the page, right? So that's relatively high, but it's relatively low compared to the reach. Yeah. The engagement I'm happy with. The vid views I'm very happy with, because then now we've got mine and Haley's vid views that are going because they're rolling with subtitles. Okay. The insights, this is where we tell them they can go and find the insights. Now, you guys, if you click on that at the moment, you can't see that, but clearly you want to make sure you can see it for all of your clients. So in other words, I'm just reporting on that. There is a couple of you that don't have the business access to your actual site. So I think Jake, maybe and there may be one or two others where I think the invite's been sent, but in our one-to-ones, remind me to make sure you've got business access to Facebook, to our business account, right? To our Dify social account. We talk about lifetime spend, and ultimately, we talk about what's the spend since the 1st of January 2020, because we charge people a nominal amount, right? We charge between 5 and 15% to manage your ads. So that's why we always leave that detail in there. Business manager, we don't have to tell our clients the business manager, right? So in the business manager one, that won't be in there. Here I go. Ben, Andy, and Jake, we still got a pending sitting on your business manager for your pages, right? So we just need to fix that. So these are the current ads that are running, right? So we've got the B1G1 awareness post, $83 we've spent so far. We're getting ad recall at over 1,300 people, and it's costing us about 6 cents. That's a good result. Anything, ad recall, anything probably under 10 cents is a good result. Often it's 1 cent, right? Haley B&I vid is exactly that. It's 1 cent is how much we're paying for everybody to go, oh, I do recall that business, right? I know what that business, Haley must be part of that business, right? We're also getting the engagement that we're getting, we get other things that happen. They'll go maybe watch the YouTube video, they'll actually go to the website, but the main thing we're promoting there is for ad recall. It's different for Ben. For Ben, we've got the photos being promoted at $2 a day. We've had 147 engagement, which is what we're trying to get, and it's costing us 33 cents. Again, anything under $1 is pretty good. 33 cents is good. I'm happy with that. We've got the knock knock, which it's all of us, that post that's got all of us on. We're doing that at $4 a day, I think, rather than $2, but I think it's $4. And ad recall on that's 4 cents, right? The B&I, that's my B&I. I'm the same as Haley. It started a little bit after, but getting a similar result. And we're paying for the views. We're paying for people to watch that video, right? We want people to watch it. We want them to understand what we're doing and why we're different to other people. And with Hannah is slightly different again, because Hannah, again, we're getting recall at $2.50. We're doing it for awareness, and it's costing us 2 cents, but it's YouTube only. So it actually means they actually have to go and click to learn more back on the website or onto YouTube, right? So it's a slightly different campaign strategy. We always have the pixel. The pixel tells us that we're getting over 1,000 flares to the website, right? So that just means everybody understands flares is it's not 1,000 people. It's how many times people are going to the different pages, right? And we've had over 1,000, which is pretty good. I can tell you that's 10 times what I would have got 3 years ago, right? So it's good. And then we just make a little synopsis, right, of what we're seeing here. We always tell people, remember, invite people to your page. If your clients aren't inviting them to the page, then sometimes you might have to do it for them. Do it on a Wednesday when you're going in there anyway. Go to the advertised post, click on it, see if there's any additional likes, and invite them to the page. Does that everybody know how to do that? Yep. Awesome. The pixel flares are steady. Here's the kicker for us, right? So our LinkedIn page, because we've been inviting, all of you are now have admin on the LinkedIn company, right? So in other words, this month, I'll let you guys invite your network to the page, right? We've got 100 credits. To every page that we manage, we have 100 credits. Invite people to the company, and we encourage our clients to do the same, right? Make sure you invite, because if you do that, look at our impressions, almost 7,000. There's a little bit of paid in that, to be fair. I promoted a $3, that one that's got us all, the brochure post. I used my LinkedIn dollar for dollar. I think they give you a $50 credit, so I did a $100 ad. So that's probably why that's so high. But 7,000 people impressions on LinkedIn. I don't know of any other business that I've ever managed that's had that, right? So that's bloody high. So understand the power of LinkedIn if they start to invite people to the page, if they start to engage with their posts. It's a powerful network, right? Not just for direct and personal. Analytics, I haven't updated that, but we know with Twitter is that it lets everything through. It doesn't have an algorithm like Facebook. It lets everything through, right? So in other words, we're getting 3,000 impressions on our tweets on that one Twitter account alone. I know that Hannah was getting 1,000 impressions just on fashions, right? So you get a lot of impressions, and we're not paying for anything there, right? It's all organic. Does that make sense? So again, if anybody says to you, I don't really get the benefit of doing Twitter. Twitter is a fantastic social media for placing you where you operate from, i.e. Melbourne, Australia, Sydney, wherever we are, as well as the industry that you're within. So we're connecting with other like coaches, whatever media is relevant, all that sort of stuff. And we can connect with things that we can't otherwise easily connect with. So Twitter, again, just be aware, the analytics are impressive and we're not even paying for it, okay? We're just doing time. Instagram analytics has got a lot easier. You can now look at, on the business builder, you just simply look at the app, right? You can either look at the Instagram app itself, or you can look at the Facebook business builder. Is that what it's called? I think I've written it here. And you can see how many accounts you've reached with the posts, right? TikTok, something we do different to others. This Google Insights should say 1,925 is slightly lower, but that's almost 2,000 people are searching for Dify Social alone, right? Doesn't include all the other ones that we've got. It's just Dify Social, right? And so the other important thing that we do is we do the update at least once a month, right, on our small businesses, and once every second month for our extra small businesses. So we just post an update. Have I shown everybody how to post an update? Is everybody aware of doing that on Google My Business? Yeah? Yep, all good? Awesome. So, and then we don't look, other than ourselves, we don't look at Google Analytics, but it's often a good question you can ask people when they're asking us, right? Have you ever looked at your Google Analytics? 9 out of 10 people will say no, right? So in other words, they've got no clue whether their website works for them or not, right? What we often then say to, well, it's a good idea. Whoever's done your website, they can easily give you a link so you can check out your analytics on your website, right? And understanding, everybody knows the difference between Google Analytics and Google Insights. We report on Google Insights. How many people are looking for you? Google Analytics is telling you what happens on your website. Okay, that's the difference between the two. I think, Ben, you've done some work in that sort of stuff before. I think Emily has as well. Maybe Hannah have done a little bit of work in that in the past, right? But it's important that you're able to explain to our clients the difference between them, right? Right. So that's our report. Remember, we use that same for everybody else. I have notes that I could have gone through, but I'm looking at time. I'm just going to do one other, right? I'm going to show. I think what I'll do is actually use one of Adrian's, right? Because Adrian stepped through a process for me. And Adrian's been doing it the longest, right? So let's look at, actually, I'm going to look at one that's a ridiculous one, right? That we've been doing a report. And because there's some good stuff on here just to be able to share with you guys, right? So every month for more than 5 years probably now, we've been doing this Sanitaire Social Media Insights report, right? So each year we generally update it. Is that big enough? Let me just make that bigger. File, view, zoom in, view, zoom in. Actual fact. So anyway, the first process that Adrian does, he's gone to my last month. He's gone to October. So he's gone for October's report that was posted here. He's then gone and copied and pasted it into the private, right? He's copied it exactly the same as what I did in the first place last month. Okay. If you copy and paste the first one that you did the previous month, then you're actually just making more work for me, because then I have to kind of go and do it myself anyway, right? So make sure you, and again, I'm just saying that because it's an easy mistake to make. Go to the last client visible post. Don't go to the last one you gave me, right? Because otherwise I'd have to update it again, right? So just go to the last one that I posted for the client, okay? And then what I do is I copy what Adrian did for me here, and then I go and create this month's, right? So all I do is copy, I proof it, and then I go into here. I just wanted to show you some of the things that happen in here, right? So this stuff is pretty normal. He's getting good reach. He's getting good engagement, pretty much the same as normal. He's been going for a long time. He's spent over $9,000 on advertising since whenever he started with us back in 2015, probably, right? He's had over 2.6 or almost 2.6 million impressions on this one post alone, on an awareness post. That's what happens if you do things long enough, right? But impressions is more than once, right? And then we've got an engagement post as well to try and get engagement as well as impressions. Otherwise, all that happens is you get a high level of ad recall, but not really anybody engaging with the post, right? So that's why now we typically do the 3 types of ad campaigns, correct? We do awareness, we do engagement, and or web click, right? One or two of those two. We want an action to be taken, yeah? Now, the sad thing for us is for 5 years, we've not had anything installed on any of the websites. So for 5 years, we've written the same thing in the report. It would be great to have the pixel included on the website. We don't want clients nowadays to be doing that, right? We want to nip these legacy type things. We want to get rid of those legacy type issues. Get the pixel on the website so we know it's doing what we intend it to do, right? LinkedIn, for years we've said engage with your own post. Now we can't make them do that, right? But we can remind them and tell them now, did you know you've got 100 credits? Go in there, pick up, particularly for these legacy clients. And what we might have to do with some of these legacy issues is basically, Adrian and I were sort of saying, is just let them know, look, me and Adrian meet at 9 o'clock every Monday morning. If you ever want to jump on for a quick chat, just to get rid of some of these legacy issues, we're here, right? Or if you want to have a quick chat, we don't allocate in our budget time to have another an hour to talk about the report every month, right? We all know that, right? Particularly for new clients, they might like to have that, but we need to make it clear what they actually do pay for, right? Is this stuff. That's why we put this stuff down below. That's what you pay for. But hey, we understand you might want to have a chat so that we can clarify this. But would you agree that a one-pager like this you know, and the other thing is, yeah, so we now know that it's a lot easier for us to find some of this Instagram. Oh, I know. The one thing I really wanted to ram home for you that's come obvious for me now, right, is Instagram organic reach is far greater than Facebook, right? So we need to start putting in what the probably it's probably not good enough for us to only say that you can find the details on the app. We probably do want to have a quick look where we've got access. Well, you should all have access just to see how many accounts are being reached and how much reach the over the month it's hit, because you know Facebook only gives 10%. Instagram is much higher, right? It's you know it's much closer to say it's in the thousands, right? So typically, you know, when we're not advertising, we'll only get 100 in the hundreds, right? For Facebook, on Instagram, we're getting typically more like thousands. Yeah. Does that make sense? So a lot more people seeing the Instagram posts that you're doing for your clients. So we need to tell the clients that, right? Is that because otherwise the reality is if we were only going to post organically, we'd probably just choose to post to Instagram because more people are seeing it, right? But what we do know is the only time you can pull a call to action on an Instagram post is when you're advertising. So unfortunately, the Instagram gets much better organic reach, but the likelihood is that people are only going to heart it. I say, I like that post. It doesn't really do them much good. Does that make sense? If all they're doing is liking the post, right? We want them to actually go off and do more and get educated. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys about your individual ones that you're reporting on. But has anybody got any sort of questions around reports? Is there anything that's sort of from that I want you to raise questions, right? Because I guess I'm starting to realize in our one-to-ones, just as one little example, I need to make sure that there's little things that I don't miss. Like, for instance, the blind copy on emails. Haley and I only realized we weren't doing that a week ago, right? So there's things I'm going to potentially miss if I'm not talking to you all about it. So don't think it's stupid to ask a question, or if you can't find something when you're doing the reports, or you're not sure of something when you're doing the reports, don't sit on it and wait till our one-to-one. Maybe just send me a message and just say, I can't remember this, so I haven't, or even if you just put there, I'm not sure where that I get that from, or I'm not sure I've done that right. So just put it in the private thread if there's something that you're not sure about, and then I can deal with it, right? And then we'll work it out from there. Is that okay?
Yeah, I actually do have a question.
Yeah.
I was using the business suite to do my reports yesterday, and thankfully we can still use the normal Facebook analytics, but I don't know how long that will be used for, but the business suite doesn't show all the same metrics. So I don't know if you've taken a look at it or not.
Yeah, I did.
But
So I did. Yours was one we will talk about. Yeah. So what I did was use the numbers that you'd had. I just changed the sentence sort of structure, and he already came back. They did seem to marry up, but they didn't marry. There were certain things where it looked like the insights. So the Facebook insights won't change, right? So we use for Facebook. The most accurate appears to be last 20 days on Facebook Insights, and that's something they can easily click on themselves, right? And we want them to do that. So we just want to make sure that the insights are the proper insights. So it looked to me on the business suite for Facebook at least, they use that particularly for reach seem to be inaccurate, right? So, but yeah, you're
yeah, that's what I mean. They're not the same, and I don't because Facebook's changing everything over right now.
Yeah.
It might be something we need to be aware of as we continue to do reports.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I would say is that I don't think insights would. I think the best thing, at least the way that I find the best use of our time and the easiest, is actually use the Facebook. I use the computer for Facebook Insights, and I use and I think we can just click on the app, um, the business app for either that or Instagram itself for the Instagram Insights. I think at the moment. But it's a good point, only because I was concerned that they didn't seem to marry up. The reach didn't seem to marry up the same. Yeah. So cool. Is that all good? Yep. Awesome. So yeah, the reports. It's just our point of difference, right? Is because we're dealing with people where there's it doesn't matter whether they've come on or they're just a client, whether they're a client in early days or long term. We're always having to educate, right, in terms of what it is and why it's beneficial to be doing what we do and the model we use. That's the main thrust, but we need to do it in such a way that they understand it. So that's why we pretty much do a one-pager, right? And we summarize it, and it's as much for our benefit as it is for them, because often they expect that we just understand what the report's telling us, right? Cool. BNI traffic lights. I don't know if I put this on, just looking at the time, so I've kind of run out of time. So just very quickly, have a look on your on our side. I've listed the top 10 chapters, right? Might be worth, if they're online, it might be worth going, and they're in your state, might be worth going and visiting some of these top 10 chapters around Australia, right? I was surprised who they are, and we're not in any of them. But clearly, if they're the top 10 ones and they're in Gold Coast and they're still doing an online meeting, maybe drop down and say hello. Most of the other ones are probably going to, away from Victoria, probably not going to be online. So the other thing that I wanted to say is, you guys starting out, there's plenty of, it is correct to say it's great that you're in amber already, right? So you'll see, this is my chapter, you'll see, plenty of people where they start out in amber, and then they get into green, and that's what you just want. It's just maintaining the rage month in, month out, right? And what I would say would be more, you'd probably not want to be this person, right? So they start out red, they get to amber, they go green, and then, oh, hello, something's happened, right? And then all of a sudden they flip straight back, they go back into the red, right? So just good habits should make it easy, that once you're in green, then you'll stay in green, yeah? And often it's just about completing the slips. So if you can do the slips, then you'll probably stay, up in that amber and green. Awesome. I don't know that there's too much else that we haven't already covered off on here. Hayley and I are going to touch off. It's been good this week to be able to go through it with Anthony to do just how we put it onto Basecamp. And Ben, we did it last week as well, just getting a new projects onto Basecamp. Hayley and I are going to do it this morning. And yeah, having your assistance with that is really helpful, so it's in the same way as you assist with getting the drafted up proposal is really great, and doing the audits, getting them on and getting your client on. It's awesome to have it so that realistically it goes with Hayley with Steve rather than Steve with Hayley. So that's our first one, Hayley, right? It'll be a Hayley with Steve and not the other way around, which is awesome. We don't have to talk too much about that. And, I thought this is where I was. So I am going to stop sharing. Cool. So done, to make sure I promise that we're on time. As far as my week, Adrian, before you ask, what's my week looking like? So my week is taken up very busily with getting the ones ready for Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And as I said, just really, I'm finding that I've been able to, with my BNI, many of you know, my BNI has been tricky, but I think part of that is because I've always been online with them. So I'm kind of enjoying being able to break down a little bit of a barrier now, meeting them face to face. And it's starting to feel like BNI is going well. The only other one thing while you're all in the room, so you guys know we have the Dify social trademark. And you guys know that we also, not just the logo, but for the wording, right? And so just so you're aware, not that it's relevant to BNI, but my former business partner made it slightly to them, but he was sent a cease and desist letter, right, to stop using the Dify social hashtag on his social media and to take me off old websites, right, because it's confusing and it's kind of what the lawyer calls being used in bad faith, right? So just so you're aware, we have trademarks on the logo and we have it on the word mark, right? So in other words, Dify social is something we own, right? So in a way, whilst it's not ideal that it's being flagged, it gives it gives us and me the ability to be able to go, okay, here's a case study with Mr. Chris Dobbin. Stop using our trademark, or then then whatever happens next, right? So so as much as I prefer not to have to deal with that, I'm glad that it gives us a bit of a trial. Make sure that the trademark works the way it's intended to. So, Adrian, over to you.
I've got a meeting today with a potential client. I've also got to follow up with another one that I already had a meeting with. I've already done my scheduling for this week, and what else do I have on? My Facebook group, we're just launching that now, so I think we're launching that today. So I'll be inviting week. What about you, Ben? What do you have on?
So we've got the setup and planning session with Wayne. I've got hopefully the audit and consult with Arbon Person Tuesday. And I've got Adventure Mini Golf with my chapter as our Christmas party on Friday. So that should be fun. I'm really sorry, but I am late. So I've got to go. I'll see you guys later.
Bye. Okay, Andy, what do you have on?
I just have a WBN meeting this Wednesday. Still need to do scheduling, and I have a Christmas party on Friday with my friends. Steve, did you want me to post schedule for Golden Age Home Care? Because I missed the.
I think that would be tough. I reckon I'll get it started this month. We'll finish it off, and then so in 2021, once we've got things ironed out and all done and dusted, we'll get you onto it, I reckon.
Yeah.
Good question.
Okay, Hannah?
I had to take myself off on. You guys don't need to be on mute. I put myself on mute only because Huang rang me saying, I've got no money in my bank account. Can you transfer enough something across? So there you go. That's why.
I've got my BNI on Wednesday. I've got two one-to-ones, one Tuesday, one Wednesday. I've got scheduling on Wednesday. And I think that's it for me this week.
Anthony?
Just scheduling today, and I'm going to sign up. Oh, not sign up. Invite myself to the Fresh Networking over the next few days, and the setup and planning tomorrow with BuzzMe removals.
Okay, Emily?
Today I have some scheduling. I still have to. I have my presentation tomorrow.
Good luck with that.
Thanks.
Hopefully you'll get a couple of good photos.
Yeah, I'll ask.
Okay, Jake?
Yep. So I'm going to do my scheduling today. I've got a phone call with Tamara, Steve this afternoon, hopefully to start putting some things in motion. So probably visit 2 BNIs this week, following up my face-to-face from last week. And that's it at the moment.
And we do need to, I did put it in his report, but we do need to just get an estimated time of arrival for our merchandise and our banners. Yep. The likelihood is we just put banners and merch out all at the same time. So as in, hopefully we'll collect it in the next week, and I'll be able to put it in a mail run so that those people that aren't in Victoria will get theirs pre-Christmas, like a Diffy gift.
Oh, does anyone know? Or I guess Steve will know the most. Does BNI go on a break over Christmas?
Yeah. So
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
It's like a month, 3 weeks.
I can't see us getting you in BNI in 2020 now, Jake. I reckon we'll as you said, have a look at it over the next 2 weeks. Most of them they'll be live this week and next week, and then you won't have a chance to go after that until probably the 3rd week in 2021.
Yep.
Okay, Hayley?
I just have to do some scheduling. See Steve. I don't know. Get Hannah Intimate sorted out because that's not working right. I can't get into my ads manager either, by the way, because of Hannah.
I spent a long time on that, so it should be. So again, it's just one of those.
Whenever I go into ads manager, it's like you need to do a 2-factor authentication thing for hand internet. So I can't see anybody's.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at that at 12:30. Then we catch up. So I wasn't getting that, so that's all fine at my end. So I don't know why you're getting that at your end. So we'll double check. Yep, no worries. Let's have a look. I did get rid of the limit though, so that should be back up and running. That's the other thing. So we need to.
I think it is, but I can't see. I can't see my ads manager.
That's weird. Yeah.
For anybody. So that's kind of
Oh,
annoying.
for anybody?
No, I can't get into it. I can't get
Or just
into my ads manager at all.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Is there any? Who else we got, Adrian?
That's everyone, I think.
Did we go
Thanks,
around?
anyone?
Awesome, no worries. I think with the other thing that we have got is we'll look to do our Christmas sort of all in will be on the last week, so that's Monday the 21st. So in Melbourne we'll look to go to the there's a place just in sort of Brunswick, I think, somewhere like that. But also what I'll do is I'll have to send those non-ones around here. Is we'll do a little voucher for you guys as well, maybe $50 voucher or something in the other states, and for each of you, and maybe Emily and Hannah, you might want to catch up together and go out and have a brunch or a brekkie, or use that however you want to use it. You don't necessarily need to use it as a breakfast, but at least you can always. Hopefully, you don't feel like that you don't have you're not getting the same benefits as the All-Stars.
Yeah, we just can't get it together. That's the only reason we haven't met up yet.
Yeah.
You're not good at planning, so.
Well, we'll lock in that one, Emily.
Yeah, so hopefully that Monday, that's it. So that would be good. Find somewhere near. All right, everybody happy?
All good.
All good.
Yep.
Good.
All right. See you guys later.